find the equation of the line PQ. Now this is the graph. You have this a very beautiful graph here. This is the most beautiful graph that you can ever imagine. But what we are trying to do here is I want to find the equations of this particular line here from P to Q, right? What does it mean? So have a look at the graph in a pictorial form. A quick tips here is that you have to know exactly what you need to use in order to solve this problem. You see, this is a whiteboard marker. I'm using a whiteboard marker to write against the whiteboard. So this is the tool that I'm using. So in this particular question, which tool are you going to use in solving this problem? So the tool that we are going to use here is x over a plus what? Y over b. Everything is equal to 1. So this is what we call an interceptor equation. This is the tool that we have to use in solving this particular problem. Is that okay? Now someone will be asking, where is this x and then y and then a and b are coming from? So this a here is the what? The x-intercept, and then this b is the what? The y-intercept. We will have a look at that in just a few seconds. That's why you need to stay here to the end of the video. So now, without wasting time, why don't you have a fair idea about what a line or a graph of a line means, right? So what it means is that if you have a company, right, so maybe let's say this company is assuming this is a coffee shop, right? So assuming this is a coffee shop, right? Is that okay? So now what we have here is that, let's say this is the equations of this coffee shop. What it means is, I'll explain this in just a second. So here we have people that are y and then people that are x here. Now the x here is standing for people who normally come to the shop to consume some coffee, right? So as a breakfast, they take in some breakfast. So if one person come, what will happen to the production, right? So the production of this shop here. So how many coffee do they need to prepare per day for them to know the exact number of people that comes to the shop to purchase a coffee, right? Okay, now let's see what will happen. So if a single person in a day basis, so if a single person come, it means that this is 1 minus 1 equal to 0. So all that they need to produce it, they don't even need to have an additional coffee before they can sell to just a single person, right? So maybe one person or one worker, one prominent worker, they can volunteer his or herself and donate that coffee to just this single person. Is that okay? Okay, so perfect. So what will happen in terms of a graph here is that you need to label this thing. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. You see, these are the number of people that need to come to the shop for it to have the outcome here, which is 1. So starting from 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and so on and so forth. Is that okay? So if a single person come on that day, so it means that this x here is 1, right? And then this x minus the 1 here. So this is the equations of the company, right? So 1 minus 1, that is equal to 0. So we are here. And I'll say 1 on the x-axis and then 0 on the on the y-axis, right? So what will happen? So let me bring this thing here. So I have this x minus 1. Before we get to the better understanding of this thing, you need to have the key idea behind how the graph works. So if my x here is equal to 1, so y is equal to 0. So you have what? 1, 0, right? So what will happen if your s is equal to 2? So you're going to have 2 minus 1, that is equal to 1. So meaning that we have our x to be 2 and the y to be 1, right? So meaning that if 2 people comes to the shop, that company or that coffee shop must produce just a cup of coffee, right? So a cup of coffee in this case. So you have 2 on the x-axis and then 1 on the y-axis. So it should be somewhere here. So what will happen if 3 people come? So that's 3 minus 1, that's going to be 2. So we have our point here to be 3, comma 2. So here we have 3 here and then comma 2. So if you continue like this, you see that the lines of this graph here goes straight forward like this, right? It means that it keeps on what? Growing. Okay, so that is the fair idea of how the graph supposed to looks like. Now, perfect. Since you have this line here according to this question here, so we already have the line there. We want to determine which equation gives us this line. Is that okay? So that is very simple. So the tool that we are going to use once again is exactly this one. So with this tool here, all that we are going to determine here is the x-intercept. So the meaning of the x-intercept is you see this curve here, this line here, where this line meets the x-axis. So this is what we are calling the x-axis here. So where this line meets this curve here is exactly what we are calling the x-intercept, right? So in terms of graph, this is how it's supposed to be, where you are coming from. Once you meet this particular line, this is what I'm trying to say. This is the x line here. So this point is the graph is meeting this line. So here we are calling this point the x-intercept. All right, that is supposed to be intercept. Okay, so what is the value here? That is 5. So our a here is going to be equal to 5. So we have x on 5. What do you think y is going to be? Why don't you pause a video and give you the values of the y? I will see that you mention or you say the values of the y. Either that will be in the comment section below, or you just come back and come and check the solution with a second. So by the way, if you are new on this channel, you are enjoying some of this video, make sure that you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. If you have any issues too, don't hesitate to comment in the comment section below for an assistance. Yes, you get it correct, right? So thumbs up for trying. Whether you have it correct or you have it wrong, that's the most important thing. You just have to take the first step of trying it. Okay, so our y-intercept here is just going to be the value here, which is 4. Right, so we have everything done. So all that we need to do here is that we are going to solve this equation to determine exactly how to answer the question to this particular problem here. Okay, so how do you solve this? I don't know which method you may choose to solve this particular problem, right? So whichever method you have been taught or just abide by that. But what I know here is that you find something that we call the least common multiple. Is that okay? So the least common multiple, which is going to be 20. Right, so I believe some of you know how to solve. If you don't know how I got this 20, just make sure that you comment. Because of you, that's why we are doing this video. So if you don't understand something, make sure that you just comment in the comment section below, right? Okay, perfect. So once we have the 20, we are going to use the 20 to multiply every equation. So here is with 20, every member here, right? So all the equation, every member, we have 1 member, 2 member, and then 3 members. So multiply by x on 5 plus our 20 multiplied by y on 4, everything is equal to 20 multiplied by 1. Are you there? So why are we doing that? We want to arrive at something that we call linear, straightforward, that we can easily solve. So if I give you s plus 2 equal to 0, I believe you can easily solve this one. What will happen if I give you 1 on 2x plus 5 equal to 1? So this should also require another step as compared to this. So we are trying to bring this guy to this point here, right? So that we can easily solve. Okay, so here what are we going to do? So this guy will go into step 1. Here we'll go here to 4, this one 1, and then here is what, 5, right? Is that okay? So here we have what, 4x plus 5y. Everything is just going to be equal to 20. So what are we going to do here? So 20 is that sending everything to the right hand side of the equation. So you have s plus 5y minus 2 0 20, that's equal to 0. Is that okay? If you're able to get up to this point here, it is correct. But the right way of writing the equations of a line is to make sure that this y here comes first, right? So the values of the y comes first before that of x. Okay, that is just the arrangement. I believe human beings, we work with what, our legs. Nobody works with the head, right? So if that is the nature of the equation. So this one can be rewritten as what, 5 of the y plus, remember we are not changing anything, plus 4 of the x, and then minus 20, then everything here is going to be equal to 0. So this is the equations of the line that determine the graph that we've seen at the beginning of this video. So if you have any problem, once again, make sure that's all you comment in the comment section below for help. So we love you and thank you for watching.